Okay, Amy just did a video kind of giving people a tour of our bus, but I wanted to go back and do a few, I don't know, a few technical things, just talk about a couple of things that we did. I'd probably forgotten a lot of the things that we could have talked about, but one of the things she concluded with was this mini split air conditioner system, and half of it is outdoors, just so it sits, in our case, in the bay, and in a home environment it would be sitting out on a slab or in the backyard or something. But this little unit, it's a Solus, it's called an Evergreen, but the brand name is actually Solus, and it cost me $500 for the whole works. I think I've probably got $200 into the line, the air conditioner line, pressure lines and so on. It does a great job of both heating and cooling. 10,000 BTUs of both heating and cooling. And I mean, my bus is 40 foot long, and it does a great job. There's, you know, if it's 90 some degrees, the bedroom will not cool off quite as nicely, and we'll usually just close the door. Same thing if it's, you know, 15 degrees outside, the bedroom might be kind of chilly because it's so far back. 1,000 BTU, it does a great job. A bus is hard to heat and cool because it's all metal on the outside, and it's all glass up front, and huge windshield, and you know, there's a lot of heat loss. The ceiling was interesting. The ceiling is just styrofoam panels. They look a lot like, or feel a lot like egg carton type material. But just, in this case, I think they're 19.5-inch squares. They're probably a metric of some sort. And you just paint them and glue them, or glue them up and paint them after, whichever works. And we had to do some both ways. But it was interesting because they're in perfect squares, and I don't know if you can see it, but our roof curves, which they bend real nicely. That's not a problem. But our roof curves both side to side and forward. So when you get up to these last couple of pieces, you've got a ball effect. And it worked out. I had to do a little trimming on both sides, a little carving, and it just, you can't even see it. It just came out real well. These cabinets, same thing. These are on a 45-degree angle above the windshield, above the windshield. They're cut on a 45-degree angle, and so you can imagine a 45-degree angle on a curved ceiling, how that front panel came out. And it was some trick getting that and getting the side panel all to interact. And even this side was a little bit tricky because of that 45-degree angle there. But all in all, it worked. I have a lot of junk up here. This is where all of my wiring and things are, and all the things you want to hide. Same thing is true here. This panel goes all the way along above the windows, but it's actually a wire chase. I've got lighting in here to kind of give some indirect lighting, and then I got this carpet, and in behind this carpet I can pull the fibers. I just pulled some fibers off, but you can pull some fibers, and you can see there's some wires back there. And all the way along the entire top of the bus, from one end to the other, I can just pull out the carpet just a little bit with my fingers and tuck wires back in behind there that'll go all the way up into this cabinet, or all the way back to the engine, or back to the engine bay, or back to the bedroom, or what have you. The same thing is true on the floor, and you can't see it, but on the floor level, it's pretty well covered up, where there's a wire chase. And then down inside the windows, let me open the window blinds. I'm going to look right straight down inside the window cavity. You can see there's an air space between the plywood, and the plywood is here. And then I've got a 1-inch board, and then the rest of the insulation's behind that. I don't know if I can open that window thing enough to see. No, you can't. It's just like a black hole in there. There you go. Now you can see it. I've got the plywood along here. I got a 2x2 actually, but it's about 1-inch space, and then a 1/2 inch of insulation in there. And then, of course, the spray foam insulation begins after that. There's actually a total of 3 inches of insulation. But that airspace does a couple things for me. One, it's airspace, which is insulation. That's good. Two, it's a great place to be able to chase wires anywhere I need to go. Up, down, anywhere else. If I want to put an outlet in the wall, because we do still have some that we need to put in, the outlet can go into that cavity and not have to interrupt any of the rest of the wall. And it's also a great place to run air through. If needed to be even water lines in the kitchen area, of course I can get behind the cabinets in there, and so on. So that's turned out really well. Kitchen, well, all the cabinets were a challenge. Nothing is square. The sides of the bus curve on each side. The ceiling is round, the floor slopes. So that's the nature of a bus. So these cabinets are not square, and I've had to cheat, not accidentally, but on purpose, everywhere I've gone, and it's been a real challenge. But you can look down these cabinets from any angle, and they look exactly perfect. I kind of have fun with this one, and you probably can't make it out in the video, but that thing drops a good ½ inch from one side to the other, and I'm pretty proud of it. It was a lot of work in doing that, but I think, I don't have a tape measure here, but if you measured this distance and you measured this distance, it's pretty dramatic. Because this cabinet is larger, you don't see it as much, but the cabinets actually change in height as you go. So, you know, going to the lumber yard and buying a set of cabinets would not have cut it. We put the glass tile on. We did this before we left Sheboygan, this glass tile, and that was easy to put on the wall. We got them on some sort of a clearance deal. They were simple to do. We did lighting up inside. There's LED lighting that's enough to blind you right up through there, and that's very inexpensive. It seems to me they were $7 or maybe it's $10 for a roll of 16 feet to do that kind of LED, and it's all 12 volt. So you can't beat the price. This cabinet here was a major challenge. Again, totally out of square, working on a wall that's totally out of square, and it is just amazing. If you saw the back end of that thing, you would think it was built by a 3-year-old, but at the end, it's perfect. So it came out pretty nice. We've had a little bit of a struggle with our cabinet doors, wanting to warp. I'm not sure. I built them by these are just square cuts. Let me try to get the lighting here. I'm going to close these blinds. Hopefully we can block enough light that we can see. But these are just square cuts here, and then just glued together with the liquid Gorilla Glue, and clamped and then sanded. This inset panel is just dadoed into the back of the door. So it's glued in to the back of the door. There's no movement on that door or that panel. But when it closes, there's just a little bit of, and I don't know if that's warped, but all it would take is just a hair, a fraction of just an unbelievable amount of out of squareness on the end cut, and it would twist that board, that door. So I am not sure whether I've got warped doors or bad cut doors, but all in all, they look really good. Most of the time you can't even notice. I'm sure you didn't notice going through the video, and most of the time you wouldn't notice they were warped. Even when we're living in here, we don't really see it. On my drawers, you saw in the video, these are just window sash locks. That's all those are. $2 a piece at Lowe's. Real easy to put on, and they do a good job of holding it on the road. So we're real happy with that, because with the first time we took this on the road without locks, we ended up having to take all the drawers out and set them on the floor, because we didn't realize that, I've got the drawers fairly stiff on the opening, and I thought, oh, it rides really nice, it rides really smooth, and we'll take the corners easy, we won't have any problem. I was wrong. It just doesn't work that way. So there's physics involved you can't get away from. Of course, all the plywood. This was done up in Sheboygan, done early on. All the fancy cuts on that and some interesting things. The shower is the first thing that I put in the bus. We put the back wall on. It's a 3-piece shower. Put the back wall on. Got it level with the window lines, actually, which are further down, and squared it with the window lines, and then put the sidewall on. And it's just 1/2-inch plywood on left and right, and it works perfect. I've got no complaints. And of course, about these doors. I'm so proud of these doors, because the bus, again, there's so many out of squares and rounds and that kind of thing. To try to get 2 doors to come together with a perfect reveal like that, and honestly, you couldn't ask for a better reveal. But then you swing the door closed to the living room, and you swing the door closed to the bedroom, and now you've got a bathroom that's 4 foot by 8 foot and completely secure and very large. This is bigger than bathrooms in most mobile homes and some houses. A 4 by 8 bathroom has no problem. We have this little sink in here we got from IKEA, and we really didn't need this small of a sink. We could have gone with a regular kitchen cabinet or one like what we had in Sheboygan or something, but On the other hand, what more do you need? You brush your teeth, wash your hands. You don't need much, and it's a very, very nice sink to use. It's easy to operate. Got quick hot and cold water. Nothing wrong with it at all. Same's true in the shower. Amy pointed out in the video, we've got indirect lighting underneath here. Again, same kind of thing, those LEDs. That turned out really good. I've got the light over the sink on one switch, and I've got the indirect lightings on another switch, so it's got real dark. And then I've got a little tiny light down beside the toilet, and that little tiny light is just it's a license plate light, is what that is. And it actually lights up the bathroom quite nicely at night. So if we need to go back and forth in the night, or if we've got kids or something like that, it's just nice to have a little bit of light in the bathroom. I don't know if I ever showed you the toilet before. It's a porcelain toilet. It's the full height. I don't remember what the height is, 17 inches I think, or something like that. And then it's got the elongated seat on it. Works very well. So it's a regular household toilet. There's nothing different about it except the way the plumbing works. And the plumbing works off of a push button, electronic valve that's back here. And one button just adds water to the bowl, and you can as long as you hold that, you keep adding water. And the other button opens the trap and allows everything to drop through the hole. And it also adds water while it's doing it. So very smooth, very nice working toilet, and all porcelain. Like I say, it's not plastic. There's no foot pedal like a lot of RV toilets, that kind of thing. We have a plastic ceiling in here. This is just that bumpy plastic that you get at the lumberyard. I did that just because there's a lot of moisture, obviously, in a shower or in a bathroom, and it's pretty much impervious. These fantastic vents Amy mentioned, they're thermostatically controlled, so you can set the temperature to fan. There's multiple fan speeds. They also open and close because of rain. So if it rains, they'll automatically close, and when it dries out, they'll automatically reopen. You can blow them automatically in or out, and you can open them manually if you like. So we have 4 of these throughout the bus, and they're probably one of the best investments a person could make on a bus. 12-volt operation. This chase along the ceiling here, Amy mentioned, will have lighting in it. We haven't done lighting back here yet, and the same is true on this side. We've got a chase along here, and those were interesting to make, but they have screws in them, little decorative screws, and with just a matter of popping 3 or 4 screws out, I can drop that down, and again I can run wires through the whole bus, front to back, from one end of the bus to the other, both ceiling and floor. And again, you can't see it on the floor, but there is a chase along the floor too. We've got a 3-drawer cabinet back here, and a 3-drawer cabinet on the other side. And the bottom drawer is actually a fake drawer. I'm going to run out of light here, so there's nothing there. It's because the engine is actually sitting right underneath that bottom drawer. It actually comes up to about this level, but when you get over here, it drops down. So the engine is underneath there. But in order to finish the cabinet and make it look nice, went all the way across. But I made the mistake when I built this, a queen-size mattress. And this is a regular queen-size mattress, just like a person has in a house, good-sized mattress. But they're 5 feet across. So I measured 5 feet and made these 2 cabinets 5 feet apart. Well, that's too tight for making the bed. It's very, very hard for Amy to get her hands in there to pull on the fitted sheets or pull up blankets or whatever. So that's been difficult for her. A couple more details. This cabinet here opens up, and there's a whole bunch of junk like everybody keeps. And by the way, all that junk won't come out of there because it's got the same window latch type hardware. But in the back of that cabinet, you can't see it but there's a carpet that hangs down the back, and you remove that, and you can see the whole back end of the bus and a whole bunch of bus wiring, taillight wiring systems. All of that are back there. Where the books are, they're up against a carpeted panel. And actually, if you were to remove those books, that panel will fold down on a hinge. And there's about another 12 inches behind that panel to the actual fiberglass cap of the bus, which has got 3 inches of fiberglass insulation on it. But my plan is to take down the books and put another one of those mini-split air conditioners there. I can get in behind to run all the lines and wiring and that kind of thing, and have more air conditioning and more heating here in the bus. And like I say, they're only about $500 plus line, so I'll probably have $700-800 into a completed project to do that back here. Not too bad, but not necessary right now, and so we'll just kind of wait and see. I don't know if you can see anything more on this side. Just a black hole and without much light, I guess. Same thing though. I can get to bus wiring there. This panel is his engine. Actually behind these cabinets, and then behind there is the radiators. There's the radial sides of the bus for the engine. And so the radiator's up there, and then underneath those baskets is the fan system that pulls the air through the radiators, and of course the engine's underneath the pillows here of the bed. And actually it's under the bed itself. There's actually two hatches, one under the bed here and one up underneath the pillow section, that access the engine if a person ever had to. If you had to change an alternator, or if you had to change something else, I forget what it is, you'd actually have to remove the mattress and climb in there. And it's not too bad to do. It wouldn't be any fun, but it can be done. Where those baskets are sitting up in there, there are some more access panels on the left and the right of that you can't see. They're just kind of hidden by the way I did the carpet. And there's nothing there, but it's part of the bus system. I think that's it. Oh, I was going to show you the floor. This floor, I did 1/8" grout all the way around. Actually, Amy did it, and it was quite easy to do, but these just glue down. You peel paper off the back, stick them down. So I did a chalk line all the way through the middle of the bus, and then I did another chalk line in the opposite direction, so I had a perfect T. Started in the middle of the floor. I bought the little 1/8" spacers, cost me about 99 cents, and did the little 1/8" spacers all over the place, and it came out really, really well. And it hides, again, it hides flaws, it hides mistakes, it hides imperfections, and just inconsistencies that you get on any kind of a floor. So even places like this, remember I talked about the airspace or the whatever that's behind here, this sill board will pop right out of here. I can lift that out with a little bit of pressure, pop that board right up, get in behind my kitchen counter, get in to if I had a wires or whatever. That's also true up here. I didn't think to tell you that. In my cabinets, a travel rod in there right now, but in the cabinets, behind these spices, you can see there's another little panel in there. And that panel right there is removable, and I can get in there and get chase wires, all of that. Even the ceiling itself has a 1/2 inch above it. So I can literally, it's not easy, but it would take me a couple hours, but I can come up from one of the bays underneath the bus. I can come up through the wall behind the plywood. I can come up into the cabinet, grab hold of the wire. I can put a fish tape in there and push over the ceiling and go back down through into this chase up here and go anywhere in the bus I want to, or vice versa. I can go from the other direction. So we've built this bus to make it flexible for adding things through the years and through the time, and as technology changes or needs arise or things that we want to buy or lighting or talk about putting the air conditioner in the back. And how would you do that? Well, you do that by just chasing some high pressure refrigeration lines and a couple of wires, and by golly, you've got an air conditioner system. And I can do all of that and never have anything showing anywhere in the bus. It'll look like it's been there from day one. So real proud of that. Real happy with the carpet. We got that at a remnant store, and that's super high quality carpet, and we got it for dirt cheap. So we're super happy with that. Got a lot to do up here in the driver's area still. Still want to do some refurbishment of the dash, that kind of thing, but at this point we're happy with it. It works. That right there is a remote control for the air conditioner. That's what it runs off of. I guess that's it, at least on the inside. There might be some things on the outside. So we'll sign off. If I can figure out how.